Okay, it's just about 6:06, so we will get started and the others can just join us when they come on the Zoom. Okay, very good. So I would like to really thank everyone who's here for taking the time on this busy Tuesday to be with us. For the launch of the Foundation for Success series. This work is super important to me. It's very personal work because I truly believe this will be my legacy, where people remember me for and where I can make the biggest difference. I was always the good student in school, so it wasn't that academically. I was always very strong and a hard worker. I went to some of the best schools in the nation. I attended Georgetown University is where I did my college years, but I still felt ill prepared as an adult to face some of the challenges. And I realized that maybe some of the importance that I put on certain things were insufficient, and there were other skills that were even more important that I should have been paying attention to since my tender age. And when I see other people I knew since I was growing up, and I've analyzed and said, this is something I need to really deep dive into. And it took about 7 years of me studying really what makes the difference between people that do extremely well in life and people that do not as well in life. And this is what one day I was enlightened to really include in this program that I am presenting to you today. The La Petite Petka is a bilingual book series that's been around for 4 years now, but truly the Foundation for Success series is what will be our legacy work, and this is what I will be sharing with you today. Let's change the slide. Very good. So what will we cover today? First of all, it's explanation of what I consider to be the gap between, when I say bridging the gap between academic learning and life success. What is that gap? I will share with you our vision, our mission, our value proposition. I will share also the themes that are covered in the Foundation for Success series to make it more real to you. What are those educational materials that are not only in the series, but also in our e-learning platform? And how are we going to reach out to all those children? How we give back, and how we believe we can collaborate with you or other people in the community to reach all the students we believe we have an obligation to reach. So first of all, the gap. What's that gap? The gap, most of us spent 12 years in school to get prepared for adult life. But if that's the case, if school is preparing us for adult life, why aren't we truly getting the skills we need to thrive and maximize our potential? Why is there no direct correlation between our success in school and how well we do in life? Why are there so many A students who end up being outshined by C students later in life? If there are skills that are as important or even more important than academic skills, why aren't our kids learning these skills in school, and why aren't these skills structured in a curriculum since elementary school? This is the problematic that we resolve. This is what we are here to do, and this is what this is about. Okay, so what is the vision? Bridging the gap between academic learning and life success to help over 100 million children all around the world to reach their potential. That's the high target we're putting. The job is huge, and this is what, in the long run, where we want to be. In terms of a mission, it's really to give these children all around the world access to educational materials and practical tools that will allow them to reach their potential regardless of their path, socioeconomic background, and academic competence. A lot of kids, they might feel like when they're in school, if they're not getting those A's, if they're not really able to get those good academic grades, some of them might feel they are below their capacities will not allow them to truly reach success in life. That is not true, because there's a lot of other skills that are even more responsible for their success. So if we pull it forward and give them access to those skills at the elementary level, we know that we will make a difference in the lives of not just one or two children, but hundreds, first thousands, and then millions of children. So what is the value proposition? We really structure the themes that are the highest determinants of success into bilingual educational materials that are made possible, that are made accessible through physical books and an e-learning platform. So who are the kids that we target? I said it's kids that are 5 to 9 years old. That corresponds more or less to 5 to 9 years old, so kindergarten to 3rd grade. So in terms of the themes, what are the themes that we cover and the foundations for success theory? We're talking about, first of all, the first book, it really lays down what are those foundations that we are talking about. Then we talk about the power of thought. The power of thought is instrumental to our ability to move forward and to believe that we can really reach greater heights. Our ability to think big, bigger than whatever we think. We can think bigger. The importance of consistency. Whatever worthy goal we will set will require consistency. And the story that we have here, it's about a child that does gymnastics. This book is dedicated to my son who really does gymnastics. But for every single theme that we will have and that we already have and will have in the future, it will require more than one book, because a few child might relate to the gymnastics story, but it might not, another child might not. The story is, the theme is so important, the lesson is so important that it will require more than one story for us to truly get it across to children. And all the first stories, we're writing them, but then we will be soliciting from the community, if you understood the story, what other lesson would truly fit that lesson, would truly fit that theme, and help us to really create a multiplicity of stories that relate to all children across different groups, different socioeconomic groups, different ethnic groups, different social groups. Lead yourself first. The importance of developing new leadership. We cannot have we cannot hope to be able to lead others if we cannot first lead ourselves to get to do what we want ourselves to do. And all those stories also are the stories are real life stories. I don't make up stories. I actually take stories that are from my children's real life for now, and stories that children will most likely be able to relate to. This story, for example, is from student patrols, which a lot of kids in public schools have the opportunity to be student patrols. They say student safety patrols is the term I was missing. Student safety patrols. The next theme is the law of rhythm. As we grow in life, as we are going to fight to achieve whatever, to reach our potential, there will be a rhythm. Things will go up and things will go down. And when we are in a downstream, we cannot forget that things are going to go back up, that it's temporary. We cannot lose perspective that things will get better. And I think it's a very important lesson for children to understand that there will be highs and there will be lows. And when you're in a low, you don't stop digging. You don't have to continue digging, because you have to keep the perspective that things will get better if you take certain steps for things to get better. And if your mind also understands that this is temporary, the negative situation is temporary. Whatever one will achieve, whether you're in politics, whether you're an entrepreneur, whether you are a professional, whether you're a writer, whether you are in the nonprofit world, Whether you are just wanting to be an awesome kick-ass mom, it will require massive action. Nothing of significance can happen if you are taking little action, doing one little thing. And this story, the example we take is learning multiplication. A lot of kids dread math. They struggle with multiplications or other types of basic skills they have to go through, they have to learn in school. So, but in this book, we give them an example of what massive action looks like if they are going to take, if they're going to learn a new skill, whether it's at school or outside of school. The importance to embrace every challenge. When there's a challenge, it's not about letting yourself get drowned by the challenge, but seeing how you're going to get past that challenge in order to really grow and get to your goal and ultimately your potential. And that story, it's about Polo, which is that little boy that he has an exam that same weekend. He has to study for an important exam. He has an important soccer tournament, and it's his best friend's birthday. And he's like, at first, at the beginning of the book, he feels like he'll never be able to do it. And it's in the little things, instead of being, hey, I'm never going to be able to do it. The better question to ask is, how am I going to be able to study for my exam, do well on my soccer tournament, and still be there for my best friend? And this is what it's about, to create that spirit in the children, instead of feeling defeated, to always look for the, how can I get past this? The importance of some financial literacy. And this is just the first book of many intro to financial literacy that we will introduce in this series. The first concept that we're introducing in this book is, what is the difference between spending and investing? And we explain this with around a small story that is about a children's story that they can relate to. Because this is a concept that once you absorb those concepts when you're very young, how many decisions will you take along your life that will be influenced by that mindset? Some other books include the importance of standing for oneself. Standing for oneself, there will be so many situations where children will have to choose between standing for themselves or having people walk all over them. And again, if this is something that they identify as a thing, when the situation presents themselves, they will have the tools to know how to react. The importance of perseverance, and that lesson is taught in a very in a setting that is skiing. A lot of kids think, oh my God, I want to ski, I want to ski. They don't realize that even skiing, if it's fun, it's going to require a certain level of work before it becomes fun. And if you don't persevere, you will not be able to get to that fun, to that next level. Whatever you do in life, whether it's something serious or lighter, will require perseverance. The law of circulation is the theme of the Christmas book. But this is a theme that will be covered in many other books, because giving and giving freely is a basic principle where you can find, yes, in religion, but it is a spiritual principle as well, that when kids learn that at an early age, this can have an immeasurable impact on their entire life. So what are other themes that are covered throughout the series? The power of commitment, the importance of developing our ability to sell. When I talk about selling, it's not just about selling products as an entrepreneur or salesperson. I'm talking the importance of being able to sell your ideas, your point of view, to sell yourself. When you get later in life, if you desire to get married, you have to sell yourself to a mate. So this is a skill that kids need to identify as a skill, and a very important one. Your ability to sell to your teacher that you're a great student, that you need to be selected to be ambassador, to be in the student safety patrol. All this is selling, and kids need to identify at a very early age that it's a thing. The importance of learning to use affirmations to build your self-confidence, the importance of remembering to embrace change, the importance to develop our ability to demonstrate courage, the importance of discipline, the importance to learn to focus on the now, the importance to be a problem solver, the understanding of the law of cause and effect, the importance of having a can-do attitude. I know that my parents developed a can-do attitude in me at a very, very early age. And through very specific things that I was put in situations, and they gave me a little push and made me believe that I could do it. I remember doing a yearbook in my school at the time that it wasn't a thing in my school. There was no infrastructure to do it. But I was like, I said I wanted to do it, and my person, I'm sure you can do it. Hey, we'll get you a computer to help you achieve that goal. And it was super hard, but I felt that I could, and they made me believe I could and gave me the support so that I could. But it first started with the idea that I thought that I could. Learning to identify opportunity, the importance of staying dedicated to learning. I know personally, I thought that learning stopped after I got my CPA. And it took me a few years to realize, wait a second, it was just the beginning. Training ourselves to go all the way, learning to adopt a goal-oriented mindset, the role of positive expectation, developing a mission mindset, staying motivated, being interested in the results, developing commitment to figure things out. All this to show you the spirit that goes behind the foundation for success theory. Things that children need to learn at an early age and carry on until throughout their entire lives, because those are the things that they learn accidentally, maybe through a parent, maybe through a good intended teacher, maybe they read a good book, or maybe they don't. So these are the things that we have decided to make our mission, to make sure that we get this information in public libraries, in public schools, in private schools, in the homes of parents that are homeschooling, and any other kids, or through programs that a lot of you guys support and that you're already trying to make a difference through your programs. And we're here to tell you, we can support you with this that we are creating. So why do we make the choice of bilingualism? The bilingualism, because studies show that bilingualism boosts early cognitive development, it increases brain power in children, it provides children with an academic advantage, it allows us to communicate across cultures, it makes it easier to learn other languages in life. Later on in life, this is why today we have 5 languages in our series: Creole, Spanish, French, Portuguese, and various combinations. But our vision is that we should have 100 languages in the years to come. Additional materials that come with our books include learning vocabulary flashcards, animated audio ebooks, comprehension questions, practical exercise, reflection questions, coloring sheets. Why? Because we know that learning a secondary language requires learning vocabulary, developing the ear for the target language, becoming literate in the target language, improving the child's ability to speak the target language, understanding when people speak a target language. So those are all the things that we support. It's not just books that we have, it's books that come with a lot of additional material so that we can make sure that we get those lessons across to children that we touch. When I talk about animated audio ebooks, I wanted to give you a demo of what they look like. So this is an example of one of our books, one of our one of my favorite books on patient hardware. So
Petra ak Lily ale nan carnaval pour première fois. Petra and Lily go to carnival for the first time. C'est époque carnaval en Haïti. Est-ce que vous connaissez qui ça carnavalier? It's carnival in Haiti. Do you know what carnival is?
That gives you an idea of the animated audio ebooks that come with each of our books. We have it in Spanish as well. This is another one of the books. now in Spanish. Material.
Los números. Numbers. Uno. One. Petra tiene una zanahoria. Petra has one carrot.
So that gives you an idea of what, when I say animated audio ebook, this is what I'm talking about, to bring the story alive so that kids, and what we've seen as well for parents that don't necessarily speak both languages, it gives them the opportunity to really to be able to participate and read with their kids, despite the fact that they don't speak the second language. My apologies. Okay. Here are examples of some of the additional materials that I was mentioning. The vocabulary flashcard, it's really meant for teachers, educators to practice the vocabulary words with the kids. The coloring sheets, they come, each of the coloring sheets match really the book, so you have it for every single book. The comprehension questions are available in the 2 languages. If it's a book that's in Creole English, you have it in Creole and you have it in English. And then the reflection exercises so that the kid can feel immersed in the lesson. Because one of the things that's very, very important to me, especially with the lessons from the Foundation for Success series, is that the kids identify those lessons with their own lives. I don't want them to feel that this is Petra, this is Polo's problem, Petra's problem. I want them to be able to see, okay, this is how this lesson applies to me. And this is how I am, the actions I'm going to take moving forward to have the impact in my own life. This is a critical component of this for me, and how I believe that we will be able to change the mindset of children and really help them embrace the lesson and understand what it means for them. We also have in those books educators tips, because I do understand that for some educators, those lessons might not always be clear. So we also have educators tips to guide the teacher, the educator, the parents, whoever is leading the lesson, to be able to, we explain it to the educator first so that they can really participate and support the children as they are learning the lesson. And that is, this is one of the things we are most excited about and so happy about. So the beta version of our e-learning platform is being released in a couple of weeks, and will be accessible, not only to individuals, but we look forward to having it accessible for schools and programs. What is this platform about? And as a phase 1 of this platform, all the materials that I shared with you and I showed you will be available on a single platform in all languages, the ebook, the animated audio ebook, all the additional materials for every single book in a single location that educators, kids, parents can access. Where we are very excited also is that we have decided to, for the launch, as we're launching this from now until December, to provide, there's a school that we support in Haiti, not a school, an organization called Friends of Matanoa, which operates 200 schools in Haiti. Each school touches, has 50 to 75 students that are K to 3rd grade. And we will make available 1 license per school for every kid and e-learning platform that an individual will buy. So this is how when we say we believe in the law of circulation, we don't just say it, we live it. We are looking forward to impact those 200 schools this year with this platform, but also are counting to make this available through organizations, through schools, through public schools, to make sure that it's not only the physical books, but all this material available electronically that will touch children in the US, but also have that ripple effects to Haiti, which is my home country. I know all of you guys know that. And this is images of what it looks like inside of the platform. So when you click on each of the books, it'll open it up and you give access to all the additional materials. So during the launch phase, every single book that we have created will be made available through the platform. Right now, we have 27 books and we have 5 languages. It comes out to approximately 75 versions of the books that will be available on this platform. This is another screenshot to give you an idea of when you go inside what it looks like. You click in and it gives you access to the materials. And we also have instructions in there for educators to be able to guide them through the process. The various languages are accessible through a panel where you can select the language that you want to see the material in. So phase 2 of the e-learning platform, the vision is that it would be like La Petite Petra University, where we really have now, we will have, and that's like, we're looking at least 1 year down the road, at least, where we will have, the actual courses that will support those lessons, because we believe this is how we will help individuals reach their potential by helping them understand the importance of these lessons, but also structuring it in a way so that it's a thing. My kids know, for example, that massive action is a thing. And, I always like to say massive action has been one of my skills, but I didn't know that it was a skill until very recently. It was always hit or miss. I didn't realize that it was because I took the massive action that I got the result. Everything always seemed disconnected. But sometimes by labeling things for children or individuals in general, it empowers them to know what to do when they're in front of a situation, or when they get results that are below their expectation. They can actually understand that it was because they did not take the massive action that was required. Same thing for commitment. If this is something that we really put in children's minds since they are at a very early age, and they learn through different stories what commitment really means when they are in a situation when things get difficult, they will be able to pull the commitment card and know, what, commitment is a thing. And this is now I have to commit. And they can label it, put a word to it, and take action to it. So I look forward to that phase 2, which is going to be now little courses, little classes, videos that are going to be taught by children to children, and that are going to reinforce them. So how can we impact really together? We can impact more children. This are the different groups that we really target in the different channels of distribution, if I can call it like that. We have homeschool children, which we are reaching through through an online outreach, B2C, that my marketing team is reaching out to. But public schools, really, we are and will be applying to RFPs, but how we can collaborate, if anybody here knows of procurement opportunities that fit what we have described here today, please do let us know. If you know people that we should be connected to, kindly let us know, because this is how we will make sure that this information reaches the children that it should be reaching. Public libraries, if we will be applying for opportunities for public libraries, but if you know decision makers that would care about these materials, please let us know and help us get connected to them. Other education programs, many of you represent other education programs that don't fit into the first 3 categories. We don't know sometimes what are those programs that are happening in the community that we could help gain even more impact by introducing those concepts and those materials and making it available to the students that you support. And this is again where we say, help us get connected to whatever those programs are that we would be a good fit to help support through this material and through this series and e-learning platform that we are launching this fall, this winter. Again, like I said, our commitment is to make a difference. We are an organization, a for-profit organization, but we don't believe that a for-profit organization that doesn't have a true impact on children will achieve its mission. This is why we have decided to give back first. The first organization that we are giving back through is Friends of Matenois. I am part of the board of Friends of Matenois. And so I do know the seriousness and the dedication of the team of Friends of Matenois. But once we have been able to provide license to the first 200 schools of Matenois, we will be looking for other organizations to support. And this is another way that we may collaborate if you have organizations that we could be supporting, because at all times you want to make sure that we are giving back to at least one or multiple organizations. Okay, that brings us to the end of this short presentation, and I will be opening the floor right now for questions. I thank you for your attention, and I open it up for comments, questions, and reactions. So please raise your hand and we'll be unmuting you, or you can unmute yourself, and we will get started with the question. Okay. Josiane, you have a question, comment, reaction?
Yes, I think you're doing excellent work. The only thing that I feel is part of our success that I didn't see reflected in your theme is our community, and cultivating strong links with community is one of the ways that success happens. And I mean, this is what you're doing right now. And that's one theme that I feel I would add to the collection. How do you work with your community to achieve your goals?
I love it, Josiane. The closest thing that we are working on that relates to that theme, I don't know if any of you know the foundation Odette Wafomboin, which is in Haiti, in the Fondation Odette Wafomboin has a whole civic education program and curriculum, and they have asked us if we are able to support them in bringing, and publishing many new titles to support children with their civic work. So what you're saying is a little bit in between what they're asking us to do, and that we are currently working to work with them to put together a series that would be coming out with both Forth and us in La Petite Petra. And but I love what you said, and I'm definitely making a note. And this is the kind of feedback that I like to receive and that I like to get, because without that feedback, this is what's going to make the power of this platform. Because we believe that what does it take to truly get a child to really succeed in the community? And I don't think all the answers never come from me. If we got this far 4 years, even I can say Josiane was instrumental to helping make our coronavirus book a true success. I mean, we sold over 6,500 copies of the coronavirus book, but the input of Josiane was instrumental. So input like that to making, getting us to where we need to be is very valuable. And I welcome those kind of comments and feedback to really get us to the next level to help more children achieve their potential. Thank you, Josiane. Do we have other questions, comments? Dylan, do you have a question, comment, reaction? Okay, we have Fidine.
Hello, everyone. Oh, someone is talking.
No, it's you, Fidine. Yes.
Okay. Congratulations, Christelle. This is very great. This is awesome. I love it. And I'm thinking of using it for my kids. My question I have the organization. We are our children. We are helping in Haiti. They are elementary children. But my question is, we have a lot of them who are over age for the classes, like from kindergarten to third grade, but their age are not kindergarten to third grade age level, because we are helping children whom their parent cannot afford to send to school. Therefore, when we recruit those children, some of them are 7 years old and never been to school, 8 years old, 10 years old, never been to school. Therefore, those children, they are in a prep class, then first grade, second grade, third grade. So will the books, will that work for them as far as age, or because I know kindergarten to third grade is different ages from here?
Thank you very much for the question, Fidine. And the lessons that are in the books apply to adults, quite honestly. If you pull an adult book on how to really maximize your success, you will recognize every single theme that I have presented, because honestly, the things don't come from my head. I mean, I've studied people like Napoleon Hill, like Jim Rohn, like Bob Proctor. I've been influenced by Joe Dispenza, even Grant Cardone. These are not themes Crystal made up. So do the themes, are they relevant to a child that's 10, that's 15? Absolutely. Now, if a child is in kindergarten to third and is 12 years old, I'm sure you're using materials that are for that grade. So the cartoon, of course, they appeal more to younger kids, but it doesn't mean that sometimes you have cartoons for adults too. The lessons have nothing to do with a young child, nothing to do with a young child. And it'll be, how does the instructor use the book or the platform to communicate this? Does that answer your question, Fidine?
Yes. Sorry, I was on mute.
Awesome.
Yes, it does. Well, I would love to collaborate with you so that I can introduce this program and teach them other language.
That would be amazing. As for those who don't know, Fidine is operating a program in Haiti, and I can't remember the city. What city is it again, Fidine? I can't remember.
We are in Cap Haiti, and it's Mornay. It's a commune, I would say, in La Quille du Nord.
La Quille du Nord. And I mean, I think it would be a great idea to make sure that those kids not only speak Creole, but speak English, to open doors for them. And in the States, it's a different point of view, because we are making sure that those kids speak many languages so that they can open up their mind, their brain. In Haiti, I see it as a necessity so that they can be open on the world. I always say that whether it's a popular comment or not, I believe every Haitian should speak English. That's my personal opinion. I know that some people have a divided opinion on that comment, but I think that Fidine, if you could introduce English for these kids, you would be doing for them something that will pay dividends their entire life. So
exactly, this is great.
And if they could learn those lessons, we will not be able to measure the impact of a child learning those lessons at an early age, because it transforms who you are. I can tell you, I do this with my kids. And since I started actively, because now I call it a thing. And when they do something, I label it and link it to the lesson. My children are already transformed. I mean, anybody who knows them, it's not just because I am saying that would know them. The way they think about things, even thinking big. If I say something and it's even half small, they call me out on it. They're like, Mom, I thought you said that we had to think big. They will say, like, if they say that the discipline, like the commitment, if it's a challenge and I see that they don't want, they are chickening out, I'll be like, listen, it's a challenge. And my daughter told me yesterday, I have to finish a Harry Potter book, but I have dance until 8 o'clock. I have a bunch of homework and I have to do it before Friday. I'm like, great. Here's your challenge. Imagine how much better you'll get at reading between now and Friday. I love it. Go and do it. And I don't take it like, wow, you're going to crumble, poor little girl. I'm like, this is the perfect opportunity for you to excel at reading. Let's go. That's how I answer when there's a situation, but I always link it back to the lesson, because these lessons, I want them to be part of their life. And if we can make it happen for many children all around the world, the kids are going to be different children, and you won't have to be there when you're 12, 15, because these lessons will be part of them. Thank you for the comment, the question. Do we have another question, comment?
I want to say something, Crystal.
We knew, yeah.
I commend you for the work that you're doing. And really, the only thing that comes into my mind right now is that is going to be great reading for my grandchild. Because what happened is he is born from, my daughter Asian, and the father speak English. So the thing is, he's not listening to French or Creole all the time, but only English. He goes to school and learning English. I mean, he can understand a little thing that what I'm saying between the mom and me, but it's not coming together. You see what I mean? So I think the additional materials that you have is the most important thing for those English-speaking kids who is, Haitian, because my grandson, I'm sorry, is Haitian, and growing in the English community. So definitely I will be reaching out to you so you can, I'm very interested in the financial literacy, because everything starts early in life. They need to learn all those skills, the challenge skills, and everything that you've been outlining there. You are doing a great job. I wish that my job would hire you on the spot so you can start our book club, and open this door to the Haitian community in Miami-Dade County.
Well,
but it will happen. Just have to be patient.
Definitely. And Muriel is with the Children's Trust, so we're very grateful for her comments, and I'm very happy that you understand the messaging. But I have three comments for what you said. First, you spoke about reading, but my vision is that this is, if you want just a book to read and just leave.
Oh no, reading. It's not reading only. It's not reading.
It's about the lesson. And that's where our ambition, if I might say, might not be just a leisure reading. That's not what we're going for. So that we're in the same beat for that. The additional material, definitely, not only now, I told you what we already have, but on our team, we have somebody who has an early learning degree and taught in schools for 30 years. And her responsibility is to multiply the additional materials that is available to help children understand the lessons. So now I showed you what we have, but it definitely will not stay at that limited.
Oh, I know. I can see that.
Additional materials.
Yeah.
The other thing that you said that I would like to point out, like you say, you want your kids to learn this early. I will say it and I will say it again. When we learn it early, when the kids learn it early, it becomes a mindset. And then it's a way, a framework through which they process their decision. So
That's
that
right.
we don't have to be there all the time. In the beginning, yeah, it's gonna take a few years. The kids are in the house, hopefully with their parents, if they're the one reinforcing.
Right,
Or
right.
if it's in school, we have 12 years we're in school. That's plenty of time to be reinforcing those lessons. I mean, if we have a lesson in history and math and English, why wouldn't we have a class in success from 1st grade to 12th grade? And that is talking about all those themes.
Yeah, but the earlier is better because the children are like sponges. They get everything as early as possible and it stays there. That's what people don't understand. When they are small, they get everything. They understand more than you think.
Oh, they understand a lot. My kids are 8 and 9 and they understand a lot.
That's
And
correct.
it's just what I find fascinating is that those important things, we don't make them a thing. It's soit dit en passant, like it's like mentioned by somebody, maybe somebody in the family cares about that one lesson. Maybe you have a parent that's really good with discipline and will insist undisciplined, or you have a parent, but there's no connection like a thread that brings all of this together and say, listen, you need to make sure you're getting good at all those skills because it's a thing. When I look, for example, I saw I think she's no longer here, but we had Gioda Nicola that was here. When I look at Gioda is a master at massive action. I mean, I've been in her task forces. This woman takes a level of massive action and commitment to a whole new level. But you might see what she's doing as like little things that are disconnected. But when you analyze the framework that I am telling you, and you try to place all these people that are doing amazing things, you will notice that these are the principles they have applied. So Solange is here with us. If anybody read her book and try to identify, and you will see how she's been able to build her empire. A lot of those principles, she put them in practice. She put those things into practice. How she figured it out? She figured it out because some people they don't need to go to school or read a book to figure it out. Some people are gonna figure it out. She was determined, it was, and she figured it out. But weren't we giving a chance to all those kids that maybe they're not in an environment to figure it out? We're feeding them math, weren't we feeding this? Maybe they're not good in math, but maybe they're gonna be an amazing athlete. Maybe they're gonna be an amazing politician. But you tell them what are those principles, things that they need to be paying attention to. Let's structure it. Let's give them all a chance. And some will not get it, but do all of them get math or English? No. So it will be those that don't get it is one more subject that they don't get. So what? But those that want, give them a chance. I'm pretty embarrassed that I thought that academic excellence was the only thing that mattered. I feel pretty silly. Like now I'm in my 30s, but it took me over 30 years to figure it out. Pretty embarrassing. And some of the skills that I exerted, because I was always determined, but I didn't know what I was doing. So it was hit or miss, hit or miss.
Well,
Mm-hmm.
well, listen, what you're doing is exactly what every parent should be doing. So,
And now
with La Petite Petra, this is your mascot. How do they say there is a word for it. It's going to be the star of your star. Exactly.
Yeah. And
may I say something?
Yes, Solange.
Since you called my name, I might as well say something. I believe in opportunities. You had opportunities when you were growing up. The second word is exposure. When children are exposed, when they were given opportunities, they develop differently than those that were not exposed or were not given opportunities. So what you are doing is wonderful. I think it's great to expose children at that age to, even if it is just books, at least they will be exposed to something for them to look up to. The ability to visualize something is so helpful. Then when you don't even have anything to look at. Give you an example. I have a grandniece, not a niece, but a grandniece who came to my house. She toured up the house and then she came back. She said, "Thank you, Matat Soso." I said, "For what?" She said, "To show me what I need to inspire to." So I'm saying that because it is that important what you're doing, exposing those kids at that level. Now, what I went through hell to get to where I am. I had to learn it. I had to figure it out on my own, but I did it. I don't want to die with all that wisdom. So I wrote the book, number one. And today I received a text from someone who has my book on a bookshelf at her house. She's in uniform. She just got a master's in nursing. And she said, "I did it just like you, from a nurse's aide to an LPN, to a diploma nurse, to a baccalaureate nurse, now to a master's nurse." And she said, "My book is on a bookshelf." So I'm only emphasizing what you're doing to talking about exposure and talking to kids. It's very important. So now I'm going to ask you, how could anyone get access to those books, to this process? How much does it cost? Where can I have a niece who has a 5-year-old? Where could my niece go to tackle that material?
Thank you very much for the feedback, Solange, and for the comments. You know, to be able to access the books, we will send you guys a link for those that want individually, that might have kids that they want to get this initial series. The initial series only has 12 books, but this is going to be a series with hundreds of books. So the first 12 books and the beta version of our e-learning platform is going for $197, because our goal and the license for the platform is for 2 years, plus we give a license to a school every time somebody, an individual, will get it, to make sure we reach more children. We are giving the license. This is the price we're giving it, to make sure that individuals, and we get your feedback, because as we're going, like I said, this is the first step, and your kids will get access not only to the Foundation for Success series, but at least in the launching phase, they will get access to all our books, all the 75 books, just because we want to get that feedback going, to make sure you guys tell us what we're doing well and what we need to improve. Because then the price structure will change by program. People will get access to certain languages, to certain series. But in phase one, we need that feedback. And we want to hear how we're going to improve it, so that phase two is just that much better. So we will make sure to send that to you. And as the books are printed, they will get released in 2 phases. The first 6 books, and the other 6 books, you guys should be getting them. All will get there before Christmas. The first 6 books are going to get there before you would get it all printed before in November, and then the other 6 before Christmas. So the full series is available for Christmas if some people want to offer it to kids or children for Christmas, and you will also receive access to the platform. But you know,
let me say I have to go because I have another Zoom.
Yes.
But 2 things. A, you make me proud. Being a Haitian woman, I'm 76.
Absolutely.
When I came to America, we were maids at people's homes. We were not as educated. The group that was coming from the Caribbean, we were working at people's home. For me to be alive and to see what Haitian women are doing, you don't know. I'm walking around with pride written all over me, smile all over my face, and grateful that I'm still alive to see what Haitian women are doing. They're talking bad about Haiti, but there's so much good that comes out of Haiti. All we have to do is to blow our own horn. You're a graduate of Georgetown, I'm a graduate of Georgetown. The one thing I learned at Georgetown is to blow your own horn. So keep blowing your horn, sweetie. Good luck.
And allow me to thank you, Solange, for taking the time to be here. I really have a lot of admiration for your journey. I know so much about Solange because I read her book with attention. So I'm always making reference to even her clothing. I know her clothing in her house and her polka dot bathing suit and her 3-story house in DC. So I'm always like making comments to Solange, but I really have a lot of admiration for what you have accomplished. And we are walking behind you, us younger generation women, really to be able to accomplish the way you have accomplished. So thank you for being here, and we will make sure to follow up, and I hope we can have a conversation as well to see what can be done.
Okay, take care. Thank you for inviting me.
Okay.
Thanks for inviting me.
Thank you so much. Yes, so do we have other comments and questions? Belinda, do you have a question? Susie, Claudia.
I have a couple of things that I wanted to say. Just
Alberta.
first, okay.
Yes.
No, go after, go.
So first of all, I'm in the same mindset where I just really want to congratulate you. I think this is a beautiful vision, the series. I think the part that is the really impactful is the life lessons to success, but then pairing it up with the electronic piece. I think a partnership with, even if it's like, imagine having, like a TV series or short commercials that like teach certain lessons from the book. I'm also thinking our focus here is early childhood, and I noticed in the beginning of the presentation it was geared more to K through 3rd grade. Do you have the series for the younger age groups?
We definitely have a lot of titles. All our 19, our first 19 titles are for younger kids. Like we have some that are the basic concept series or for 2 to 4. But those lessons, I will figure out how to bring it down 1 notch. Right now, the lessons that I mentioned, right now, I feel it's for a 2-3-year-old. I haven't figured out yet how to say the story for a 2-year-old to understand commitment. Doesn't mean I'm not gonna figure it out, It doesn't mean I'm not gonna figure it out. Maybe you guys are gonna tell me what to do and how to do it. To bring it down to a 2-3-year-old, those kind of lessons. But for 2, 3, 4-year-olds, what we have are, the basic concept STEM series, like Introduction to Colors. You saw the numbers book, favorite. The Haitian book, the one on Carnival, is perfectly adapted for a little one. We have a bunch of little stories. We even have a few that are just bedtime stories for little ones. But the new Foundation for Success, the ones that are now being released, hard for a little one. But
I would say maybe not the 2-3-year-olds, but definitely like starting with VPK, because that is when you start seeing the bulk of all the children, because it is free access to childcare, and it's that leap into kindergarten. Like starting with that age group, maybe like having the series kind of start with that platform. I love the fact that with the e-learning opportunities, you're able to hear it in both languages, especially with some people in our community that might not necessarily know how to read English or pronounce certain words correctly. I think something like that, and even having it available at different, sites, and having that resource for parents to go in, or if they can't afford the license, but having that access to that information and being able to hear it, and really ideally to do it at home with their kids, that is great. I looked at the different themes, and all of them were super pertinent to success in life, and some of them you're like, yeah, we kind of figured it out, but I wish we would have had a better guide, like how you were able to put everything together. One of the things I think too, in terms of a theme that helps develop success, is the openness to diversity and to other cultures. So it's kind of in line with communities, but it's really like learning to work with different types of people and different styles. And so that's a theme that I saw that we could be a little bit emphasized as well.
You know,
But
thank you, Belinda.
congratulations.
Thank you, Belinda, not only
Congratulations.
for being here. You know, Belinda is working with a very important organization that's doing important work, Early Learning Coalition, serving a lot of children in the community. It's in Monroe and
Miami-Dade.
Monroe and Miami-Dade. Now, what you said about the diversity, the first step we took, and I realized I need to update my presentation because I should have already said it. We are very intentful about having cultural diversity in the books. I mean, we even look at, you know, the percentage to make sure that all races are represented, various skin tones, hairstyles, glasses. We're introducing people in wheelchairs just to make sure that it's well represented across the series. Thank you, Dylan, and thank you, Tamara. So this is something we are very intentful about and like really analyzing and have made it part of our roadmap to make sure we're achieving that balance. So with step one, between having a variety of children represented in the books and making sure we're representing various languages, these are the first steps we took to make sure we are creating that tolerance, that acceptance. Now, I'm sure there might be something we can go one step further. Again, these are the kind of things that I love to get feedback because then it sparks an idea of how to do it. Because I say the most difficult thing of the work we're doing now, I have a really, really amazing team that we have put rules in place of how to create the books, how to balance the books, the amount of image, text we need to have, how we translate them. All this is laid out. And we have check boxes that we need to check. Well, the hardest part is figuring out how to approach a subject. That's the hardest part. You know, and when we have something like the openness, that's great. How are we going to approach it? Because there's always so many ways we can approach a subject. And the type of stories, how we lead into the story, that's the hard part. Definitely, thank you, Michael. I don't know if you have a comment before you leave, but I'm sure we will be in touch. Thank you for being here. I'm sure we can have you have a question or comment before you go, Michael. Oh, yeah, they'll go already.
No, it's okay. I just wanted to say a quick...
Michael.
Hi, everyone. So I just want to say thank you, Crystal. This is incredible. So I work for the University of Notre Dame. We work with a number of schools in Haiti, a network of 270 schools throughout 5 departments. Crystal, I know that we have a long-standing relationship with you, incorporating your Petit Petra books in Creole and French. And I know Tamara had to go, but we're already starting to see maybe some ways that we could collaborate and incorporate your series into some of the work that we're doing. So just echoing everyone's thoughts of congratulations and super grateful for you and all the work that you're doing. So, but yeah, I know we'll be in touch as we are often. Yeah. So yeah.
Thank you so much for being here, Michael. Thank you for the work you're doing. We're so happy to really work alongside University of Notre Dame to touch more kids, a lot of kids through those 270 schools. And we're going to take it one step further to get together, that in for sure. Because I know you guys really care about the whole education. That's one thing that I know. And I saw your video on I haven't told you yet. I saw your video on Instagram where you were talking about that.
Oh, the Global Center video.
Yes. You guys should check out Michael on the page, Global
Center for the Development of the Whole Child. It's under the University of Notre Dame.
And they talk about developing the whole child. And this is what it's about, helping them reach whatever goal they have.
For
awesome.
Sure.
Thank you, Michael.
Okay, I'll see you soon. Okay,
awesome.
Ciao.
Okay. Alberta, I know how to comment. Alberta.
Hi.
Hi, Alberta.
I'm going to sound a little bit redundant here, but again, just to share everyone's sentiment and thoughts here, you are an absolute rock star. You are an absolute superstar, and I couldn't be prouder to say that I know this woman and the work that she's doing, how proud we are and how much we're rooting for you. I can only imagine where you will take this. And I am here for the ride in any way, shape, or form that I can support. I am here for you. And again, just, keep up the good work. And Dr. Belinda actually asked some of the questions that I had, and you've actually answered. So yeah, there is, my question has already been answered, so I won't go into any more details, but I just wanted to echo everyone's sentiment here that you are doing amazing work. And, again, in my time, my lifetime, I am happy to see women, Haitian women, as Dr. Vivens mentioned, that Haitian women just taking such bold steps into just coming out there. Like, we know we have a problem and we understand the foundation, and for you to step up and be that change, listen, it's a game changer, and you are forever a rock star, and we are here to cheer you on.
Thank you so much, Alberta. And if anybody knows who Alberta is, she is herself a rock star. So coming from her, it's awesome. She has some amazing things coming up ahead for her. We are really proud of her. She's going to make us Haitian women super proud too, with everything that she's getting starting next month. So congratulations to you again, Alberta. I know, thank you also for being here. I truly appreciate your support. You're always there. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Okay, I don't know, Susie, do you have a comment? I know people have to go, but I'm here to answer every single question. So if there's a question, I'm here to answer. So I don't know, Susie, did you have a question or a comment or something you want to say? I don't know. I don't think Susie heard us, but I will be in touch with Susie. Is there anybody else that had a comment before we put an end to this great time together?
Just wanted to remind you to send out that the link to ordering in order to order from the platform, so that way us on this call can start sharing it, and just let folks know what you're doing. So please feel free to share that so we can forward it on.
Definitely. I will make sure to do so. My team will make sure to take notes and share it with every single one of you. Okay, great. Well, it's already 7:13, so I think a lot of people have a lot of stuff to do. So I will let everyone go to their dinners and whatever they're gonna do. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being here today, for taking from your precious time to spend this time with us. Call me if there's anything, send us an email, call me personally. Let's talk if there's anything we can do to support what you're doing or get this further, help more kids together. That's the vision, that's the dream. Okay, so thank you and have a great evening, everyone. And I look forward to being in touch with every single one of you.
Awesome. Have a good night, everyone. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Thank you, Christelle. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And team, did you guys save for me the chat? I didn't get a chance to read it. Oh my gosh.
Thank you, Christelle. Bye.
Thank you, Muriel. Bye-bye. Merci, Josiane.